Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, increase profits, and ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and this week's episode is a look into this new fun thing I've created, which is the Artist Academy Scholarship. So we're going to talk about all of what that entails, how to apply, and all of that fun stuff, but also some of my tips for best approaches on any application process, ways to talk yourself up and open doors for yourself with a variety of opportunities. Maybe you're applying for a grant or you're pitching a mural or all of the things. I want to talk about ways to effectively communicate, ways to get your point across and really sell something. And in terms of the Artist Academy Scholarship, it's selling yourself. So let's talk about, first off, what the Artist Academy Scholarship is and maybe how you would apply for one and how you would receive it. So, okay, the Artist Academy Scholarship is this new fun thing that I have created in light of also creating NFTs. And we'll do a different lesson on this, but I think in order to create an NFT, which if you haven't listened to the episode with Aloe here just a couple episodes ago, go listen to it. It basically explains what an NFT is in layman's terms, and that's a really good start to this. But this is not an episode explaining, a whole lot of the whole NFT process. I just need to explain this one little bit. But okay, I'm starting to create NFTs, and I think by adding something to your NFT, adding a reason of why someone wants to buy it, adding some kind of layer to it that's more than just pretty art, I think that's a really, really great strategy in order to stand out in the current NFT market. So that's what I've done with Artist Academy scholarships. All of my NFTs have an Artist Academy scholarship attached to them, and when someone buys it, they unlock a code that you can't see until you actually buy the actual NFT. And then as soon as you do, it says, "Congratulations, thank you so much for the support, blah, blah, blah. Here's your code." And each one has a different level, basically. So there are some that have a scholarship code for 6 months to the Artist Academy Advanced. And then there's some that have an Artist Academy master's program scholarship for 3 months. And then there's some with more, some with less, some that are a combination. And you don't know until you buy one, which is kind of a fun little surprise. But as soon as you do, you get to unlock the code, and the NFT buyer can either choose to use it themselves or gift it to another artist. And they can gift it to an artist they know, or there's clear instructions inside the NFT that says, if you don't know of an artist that you would readily like to give this to, just contact me and go watch this video. And I have everything as just a step-by-step. And so basically they reach out to me and say, "Thank you so much. I would love to gift this to someone, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay, let me set you up. So I send them a Google Drive link that has a bunch of videos in it from artist applicants, which let's just say that's you. So I'm going to be talking to you throughout this episode as you are going to be someone who is applying for an Artist Academy scholarship, not necessarily buying an NFT. I think that's a whole different thing. And I'm not necessarily promoting that you go out and buy all of my NFTs just to get an Artist Academy scholarship. I think that's just a whole lot. That's a whole different thing. But let's just go into it to where you want to, for free, apply for an Artist Academy scholarship and be gifted this by an NFT holder. So you're going to go through the process of, first off, the written application and then the video. And the video is the main part, but let's go through the written application first. So first and foremost, if you want to apply for an Artist Academy scholarship and get a certain amount to a certain program within the Artist Academy completely free, no strings attached, and be gifted this by an NFT owner, you can go to artistacademy.co/scholarships. artistacademy.co/scholarships. You can go also, there's a link in this podcast if you just want to click the link. And you go there and you scroll down. Actually, first off, there's a little video at the top. Highly, highly recommend you watch it. You'd be concerned with the amount of people that go to this artistacademy.co/scholarships webpage, and they completely ignore the 2-minute video at the top that explains everything. And it's not just like a verbal explanation like I'm doing right now. You actually get to see exactly what you're getting in the scholarship, how it's applied and processed, and all of the things visually. So I literally show you on this little video. So go there, watch this short little video. That way, if you're a visual learner, that can help you a little bit more. Then you're going to scroll down not very far, and you're going to see an Artist Academy application. And it has questions like, what's your name, your email, what country are you in, what city, state, or territory, and things like describe your artistic style. What are you hoping to learn by joining this group? What are your short/long-term art goals? Why should this submission be considered? And then how did you hear about the Artist Academy, and what is your main social media handle and or website? Things like that. Pretty generic. However, highly recommend, like I show you in the video, that you write your answers, like maybe in Microsoft Word or in your notes section of your phone, and then go and paste it into this application. This application form, there's no other way I could do it. It's very short, but if you go and paste it, then you can make sure that your grammar and everything is correct before putting it in there. Highly recommended. You would be surprised how many artists just go in and type and say, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and there's grammar errors and all of this stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? No, let's talk about that. Whenever you're applying for something or writing an email to pitch to someone or applying for anything like a scholarship or a grant, it's funny that I have to say this, but punctuation and correct grammar is a must. Like, there's absolutely no other reason that you should have something in a wrong place, especially because you can put it into something like Microsoft Word and it spell checks it for you. It has that little line underneath the word. It's like, maybe you spelled this wrong. And you can easily, that's just a little piece of effort that can go a really, really long way. Because I've had some come in where I'm like, I can't give this to the NFT gifters. They'll laugh at me, So think about it in that way. The more effort that you put in, the better you're going to look. But there's also a line that I have mentally that I've told multiple people, hey, you need to redo this, or hey, you need to do this, or cut that out, or you need to do this better. Like, put some more time into it, because think of it in my point of view. Like, I have these NFTs that I put a lot of work into, and I think of them as a more prestigious thing. People are paying hundreds of dollars for this, and I have worked really hard to make a really good process for these scholarships that's easy and that flows, that's hopefully communicated well to these people. And so I want applications that that these NFT holders can look at and be like, oh, this person really deserves this Artist Academy scholarship from me. Like, I want to help this person. We're going to help you with art, and we're going to help you with promotion in the Artist Academy and all the things, but we're not going to help you with grammar and just like the little stuff like that. So just the more effort you put in, the better. And let's go back to the question of, why should this submission be considered? I think it's important to talk about your artistic style and what you do and what you're hoping to learn and all of the things, but why should your submission be considered? Really think about that and write it down. Take your time, but this is your time to talk yourself up and just say, what makes you unique over everybody else? Why should the person choosing between all these other videos with all these other Artist Academy artists, why should yours be the one that they choose over everyone else? And I'm just going to let you in on a secret so far. So I've talked to all of the NFT owners who have chosen the artists, and all of them have told me why. I don't ask them why. I just say, here you go. There you go. Like, let me know which one you choose. I don't ask them why, but they all tell me. And I love that. And so just to let you in on a little something, like, I've had comments from NFT owners choosing artists of people saying, wow, that Mike guy, he's just so genuine. Man, like, I just really connected with him. Or, I've had another one say stuff like, oh, that Carmen, I love that she was going to be a cop. And, my wife has some legal background. And so I really understand the passion that goes into, wanting to go into that form of a career. But, I totally respect that she's going into art too. And, it's funny what the things that people connect with, because you wouldn't think that some of the stuff these Artist Academy or that these artists have shared would have anything to do with the Artist Academy, but just sharing their background, it makes them relatable to the NFT owners, is what I'm gathering. And also just having some kind of genuineness with you, just to say, hi, this is what's going on in my life right now. Some people have said I lost my job and I was at this job for 10 years. And whereas it wasn't a terrible job, it provided for my family and I was really appreciative, but it sucked the life out of me and it wasn't creative at all. So now, I lost my job due to COVID. And now, rather than taking another job that just is another soul-sucking job, I really want to pursue my art and I'm really dedicated to it. And these are the things I've done already. That's another big thing. What things have you done already that makes you deserve the thing that you're pitching for, whether it's the scholarship or the grant or whatever you're wanting to talk yourself up for? What things have you done already on your own and why do you need additional help? So you could say something like, I've been painting consistently and I'm really getting my skills down, but I just don't understand the business side of it. I really need the help of the academy or whatever to build my business brain a bit more, to make it a bit easier, because I know I can do it. I have the drive. I lack, the steps for it. And I think it would really help get me there faster so that I don't have to take another job. Or, some people say that, I am a stay-at-home mom. I just had a baby. And rather than, put my baby in daycare and have somebody else raise them, which I mean, no judgment on that, but you could say, I'm really passionate about just staying home with my toddler and being as, really soaking up those early years. And I want to do art on the side. And so, I've been painting whenever my baby's been sleeping. And so that show your dedication, show what you're already doing. Because if you're like, hi, I want to do this, but I haven't painted yet, but I want to, but I just haven't, no, show people why you deserve it. And because people, they want to see that motivation. They want to know that their gift is going to the right person. And for some that I've noticed, sometimes it takes a second for you to really step back and think, okay, why do I deserve this? Really think about it. And I'll give one, example, and Carmen. So shout out to Carmen. I know I've mentioned her already, but I'm just going to use her as a good example because she just recently got chosen for a double scholarship. So I think this is a really good one to, just shout out. But so Carmen, I've chatted with her. She's in the Artist Academy already. So we've done a student spotlight. I've gotten to know her, and we've actually planned a trip to go to Cambodia and do a work away thing. We're going to go paint a mural over there. And so I've talked to her quite a bit. And so I knew her. And so I saw her scholarship application come in and I was like, awesome. So I was reading through it and I messaged her. I was like, hey, so you brushed over that you liked to travel, but I think if you really put in that, hey, you're actually going to Thailand and Cambodia and you're traveling Southeast Asia for 6 months, and say that specific thing is the reason that you're not going to have a whole lot of money coming in because you're going to be doing volunteer projects, and really explain, rather than say, I love to travel, I want to travel with my art and I plan to, say what those plans are. And that just helps people to visualize what you're doing, and it gives a clear reason. So, I mean, not to call Carmen out saying that's a bad thing, like that she didn't, but I think that's a really good example because this is very common, something that I'm seeing. And I think it was a little lucky that I knew who Carmen was to be able to say, hey, make it better, because there's some applications that come in that I've never talked to the people before. So I can't give you exact recommendations because I don't know you and I wish I could. But so I have done that for a couple people that I know. And mostly those are people who are in the Artist Academy who I've gotten to know over a certain period of time. And also, side note, if you're currently in the Artist Academy right now and you're paying monthly and you're like, this is, even though, it's a pretty low cost thing, if you're like, it's a stretch to make these payments, I could be a really good candidate for a Artist Academy scholarship. Apply, please. I would love to give you an Artist Academy scholarship, whether you're in the Academy or not, or whatever, or you're in it for a time period before and you want to join back, but you don't have the funds or whatever. Every single person is welcome to apply. And I want to help you do it. That's why we're recording this thing. Also, but to give you another example of maybe just being clear on what exactly you want to do. So say you're applying for this Arts Academy scholarship and you want help with business and whatnot. Just to give you another example. So I am currently applying, or I guess pitching is the word. I'm pitching a mural to a local business owner downtown. And I was at a restaurant and I looked outside and I just this, like, it's a really nice restaurant downtown. And I just saw this wall that had obviously been graffitied on, and there's just patches of gray and black paint over, just probably covering up some kind of terrible graffiti that had gone on there by people who have vandalized the building. And it's this big, beautiful brick building that's old. And I was like, man, that is just not what I want to see, and not what anybody wants to see when they sit down at this nicer restaurant and they look out into this alleyway and see just this wall that's not anything special. I'm like, man, paint could do something to that. Maybe I could paint a mural on it. And then I thought, whoa, I want to paint a color wall onto this brick. And so I walked over and I pitched my idea to the business. And like every business, they said, well, we don't own our buildings. You're going to have to talk to us. I was like, okay, I totally get that process. We have to talk to the building owner. So I grabbed the card of the manager who was working there, and she said that she would connect me with the business owner. So I sent them an email shortly after, just again saying, hi, my name's Andrea. I popped into your store earlier today, and I gave them just a really, really quick little sketch, just showing a before and after of their building, just saying, this is what it looks like now. This is what I can do for you. And it's basically a color wall, which I don't know if you've seen this before on my Instagram, but I've done this at a business in Iowa, and it's really simple. You basically just take a big space of the wall and you paint it one color, and then you take another space of the wall and you paint it a different color. So it's kind of like a rainbow wall, but let's just call it a color wall. And like, you paint one big patch pink, and you paint one big patch blue, and then green or whatever. So that way it can be used as photography backdrops, like Instagrammer photos or whatever. And it's just a really good cover up, and it won't take very long, and it'll be easy to cover up if somebody vandalizes it, because it's all just one color throughout the thing. So there's probably 6 colors overall, 6 patches of different colors. I could just save the paint. And anyway, I included all of this in my email as short and concise as I could, but just saying, this is what it looks like now. This is how easy I can make it look that much better. This is who is going to benefit from it. We can put your logo down there, or I can get a sponsor and I could put their logo down at the bottom. Either one, let me know. And this is just a way to make the city more colorful in a really simple way. Also, if it gets vandalized again, I can keep the colors, and it's just a really quick cover up. No big deal, because they've obviously had problems with vandalism before. So I'm communicating them in the most clear and concise way all these reasons why they should do this. I have not got word back yet, but I'm going to be heartbroken if they say no. And if they say no, I'm going to be like, can you please put me in contact with your building owner, please, so I can directly go to them, because I want this to happen so bad. Like I said, I've done it in a different city and people love it. It's so simple. I want it selfishly. And this is just a project that I'm really passionate about doing. And I'm willing to put in some effort up front in order to make this happen. And that's very similar to what a scholarship process is like. You have to gather the information, present it in a very clear and concise way, and maybe put in a little bit of effort up front when there's a chance that it could completely fall through, right? Like that little mock-up that I made in 15 minutes, and the email that I spent 10 minutes putting together, and, me talking to the people inside the business for 5 minutes, like all of that could completely be, just a complete waste of time if they say no. Just like your application process. You could go and make this video and you can do the whole things, but what if it worked? What if it worked? You would be benefiting with months of free content that would help your art business. I would be coloring our city and really just putting up a mural, as I've preached before, putting up a mural with my name at the bottom is huge advertisement and will eventually get me more jobs from it. So many benefits can then go, but I think this is just part of making our own luck. And sometimes it takes a bit of effort that you don't know if it's going to pan out, but you just have to cross your fingers, put in as much effort as you can, and just hope for the best, and hope that the luck fairy just sprinkles a little bit of luck your way, or that the people that you're pitching to are receptive. Okay. After you've filled out the application process of this, so you've written some stuff in Microsoft Word, and you've made sure it's spell checked, and you've gotten it as clear and concise as you can, no rambling, not a whole bunch of stuff that you're going to have to edit out later. And I'm taking the application process, the written process that you're writing down in Microsoft Word, use this for your video, which is step number 2. So write everything down and almost just exactly like you're going to say it, or at least write bullet points to be like, I'm going to talk about, I do this kind of art and this is why I should receive it. And this is what makes me unique and blah, 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 blah. I request that people give me a 60-second, so 1-minute video. I say it can go over that if you absolutely need it to, but people who are going to be watching these videos are busy people. It's hard to keep anybody's attention past 15 seconds on social media, right? So, being clear and concise and just getting a really good video out in a short amount of time, just aim for about 1 minute. It can go minute and a half, maybe 2, if you really, really need it to, but I don't think that longer is necessarily better if you hit the main talking points. So use all this and create your video with it. And you can do it in a variety of ways, but the way I recommend is simply setting your phone up right in front of you. If you have a tripod, perfect. If not, set it on some books. I don't know. And then have some kind of light, either a ring light or set it right up against a window. Wait for daylight. Don't do this in the middle of the night. If you don't have a ring light, just set it up against a window, put your phone right up there and put your face towards the phone and just talk directly on video. Another tip, put your art behind you. Just maybe you have a couple canvases, or maybe you want to pull some canvases into view. This is the kind of art I do. Pick your best stuff and just put your best foot forward in this. So people want to see you, your art, and the reason why you want this scholarship. Same with applying to anything. So whenever I was pitching this idea to the building owner here recently, I also included, I have painted the monarch butterfly right across the street from them. Luckily, I had created that a couple years earlier. It's a really big Instagrammable spot. And so I pointed at that. And I know exactly that they know what that's going to be because they're right across the street from it. And I also said, I created the Greetings from Springfield mural that's right down the street at the Discovery Center. And I included a couple photos of that. So I'm showing them, hi, I have credibility. I've done this and this before. So I'm trying, you're not the first person that I've pitched this to, luckily. And so I have some credibility in this and say, this is why you need to let me do it. This is why you need to trust me with your wall and trust me with this idea, because I've pitched things before and it's worked out. So it just anything to talk yourself up, because people don't know who you are. I can't assume that people know that I am the one that painted that right across the street, even though my name is on there and my name is in my email. I can't assume that they've put those two things together. They even know who I am. And so I just to give myself, credibility, this is what I've done. Just for you, just assume that nobody knows who you are. And these people, assume that the people that are choosing an NFT artist to give the scholarship to, they have no idea about art at all. They don't know how hard it is to create a mural. They don't know anything. So you have to explain it to them in the simplest terms. And there's no need for fancy editing. If you want to, if you know how to edit really well, go do that. But if you don't, I don't think that's a necessary thing. I think the main thing is just portraying your genuineness and communicating effectively. I don't know how many times I could say that. Sorry, I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again, but it's so important. And so also whenever you're editing this, and say it does go a little bit over 1 minute, I had an applicant who submitted one and it went a little bit over 1 minute. So they edited it down to 1 minute by speeding it up so that they talked like this and this is why you should shoot me. And I was like, no. So I wrote them back, no, do not speed up your application in order to get it all in 1 minute. Just do a normal video talking for as long as you need to get your message across. And that's that. Showing, or you could do a voiceover if you're really, really scared of being on video. I mean, I highly recommend you at least do the first part of it and just say, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. This is why I deserve this thing. And then you can have the rest be like a voiceover of showing your art and just maybe explaining what you do and where you need help and all of the things. But highly recommend face to face, because think about it, if you were applying to this in real life and you went up to someone and you were going to tell them why you deserved this Artist Academy scholarship, you wouldn't, put your art up in front of your face and say, look at this, this is why I deserve this. Or no, you would look at them in the eyes and tell them your story. I mean, stories are powerful, and then hopefully they'll connect with you and choose you over the other ones with all the things that you've said that make you unique and worthy of this. And you are. And I think going in and just, if you think that you are worthy of an Artist Academy scholarship, go into it with that confidence, because you don't need to have just lost your job or be in a complete financial deficit for you to deserve this. Like, maybe you just need some more mentorship and the money isn't there right now because you're a student, or maybe you live in a country where the dollar is not quite as valued as the American dollar. And so for you, investing in this is a bit more than someone else. Like, say you live in India or whatever, or Venezuela or what, but a lot of the same tactics that I teach within the Artist Academy can be used anywhere. I mean, we have a lot of members that are in the UK and all over Europe. And so really, sales is sales, and social media is a huge seller. And that's a lot of things that we teach inside the Artist Academy. So no matter where you are, I think that you are a perfect candidate to apply for the scholarship. But what it's going to come down to is effort, because there are a lot of people that have filled out the written part of this and then they don't make the video for whatever reason. And what that tells me is that you want it, but really not that bad, because you're not willing to put in any kind of other effort in there. Like, you're willing to write a few words and maybe write a paragraph or two about saying who you are and what you do, but you're not willing to put yourself on camera. And to me, that's saying that, whenever you come into the Artist Academy, you're willing to watch a couple of videos, but you might not be willing to use the advice and actually put it into work. So I think it just comes back to effort, putting effort in this process and pitching yourself and doing anything up front. I think that shows in the final result as well. So the more effort you can put in up front, the better. Okay. All right, I think that pretty much wraps us up today. Really quick though, if you are in the NFT space and in the crypto world, currently, right now, I'm putting out a collection of mini NFTs. They're basically mini little rain clouds with all the different colors and animations on them. And I'm selling them for much, much less than I'm selling all of my bigger NFTs for. And each one of them comes with an Artist Academy scholarship, which is basically the same price that you would be paying to get inside the Artist Academy. So instead of paying $100 to be in the Academy for a few months, you can just go buy this NFT for $100, unlock the code, get into the Artist Academy for that same amount, and you own an NFT. So that's not really for the people who aren't in the NFT space. There's a lot to go in it with, just buying crypto and just getting into it. But if you are already in it, this is a really good opportunity. So if you just go to my OpenSea account, which is linked down here, or you can go to OpenSea and search Andrea Earhart and find my mini clouds. You can go purchase one of those. That's what I've been suggesting for anybody who I personally know who wants to get in the Artist Academy, like any locals or anybody, or I've had some people reach out saying that they wanted to gift a scholarship to another artist that they know. This is what I tell them to do. I'm like, okay, if you're in the crypto space, go to my OpenSea account, buy a little NFT, and then you will unlock a code to get into the Artist Academy. And that way you own an NFT and you can trade it later on. And you're just getting something else for your money. So you're getting the exact same things that you would get coming into the Artist Academy. And plus you own this NFT. And actually just recently, someone bought a mini NFT from me for like $150. And then they got an offer on it for $300. So they had the opportunity to sell it for double what they paid for it, and they still get the Artist Academy scholarship with it. They're not selling that part of it. They get the Artist Academy scholarship, they're just selling the NFT part of it, so they basically made money. Crazy. I know, the NFT world is really kind of complicated and whatnot, but we explain everything about what the NFT process is in the master's program. If you would like to get into that, let me know, or buy a scholarship or apply for a scholarship, and you could possibly get into the master's course to learn all about NFTs. And I literally walk you through every single step of the process, from creating a Coinbase account to buying Ethereum to actually minting your NFT and just everything in between. It's a lot. Let me tell you, it's a lot. But we figured out, I've jumped through the hoops, and now I have a bunch of videos for anybody who wants to get in it whenever they are ready. All right, that is it. That's all for today. I just want to really encourage you, if you think you're a good candidate for this NFT scholarship program, go and apply. A lot of people will hear this and they'll say, oh yeah, that would be good for me. And then they won't do it. And I know this because we've only gotten a handful of applications and 80% of them have been chosen so far. So basically, if you've applied so far, you've likely gotten an NFT scholarship already. And that just goes to show you, like, very few people have applied considering all the people who know about it. And so if you just put in a little bit of effort, especially up front right here, when we're just starting this out, I'm going to be continuing to sell NFTs for a really long time and continuing to give out Artist Academy scholarships within them because I want more people, more artists to come in the Academy and learn and spread the word and all of the things. And so, okay. Yep, that's it. All right. I will see you next week. And that's a wrap. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. And if you like hearing interviews just like this in your ear, if they inspire you, then I want to encourage you to go download the Audible version of my new book, Mural Money. It's a condensed version of basically all of the best tips given here on the podcast from guests, plus my own words of wisdom to help you get started in any art industry, plus stories of some hard lessons learned that I have never told before. You can pick up a copy at muralmoney.com. And again, I highly recommend the Audible version. I put a lot of tender love and care to make sure the Audible was extra special. It had some extra goodness in there. And it's really for any artist, but especially those wanting to make a profit from a paintbrush. Muralmoney.com. That's it. I'll see you next week.